Hello. Welcome in. I'll just give it here a second. I'm in a new spot today. I've got a glare on my glasses, but that's okay. Welcome in. Happy Thursday. It is 1 p.m., almost 1 p.m. Eastern on the dot. So I am here to talk about some things, and I'm excited to be here and share some more nuggets with you all. And maybe you can take some of this with you throughout your day, and maybe you can toss whatever doesn't work for you too, right? That's what it's all about, is taking information that we get and processing it and recycling and utilizing what works for us, and what doesn't work for us, we just toss it. So, and I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. What is up, everyone? Thank you for joining. Hey, girl. It's good to have you here. So I'm going to hop right into this because Mama has got to do carpool today. Kids are back in school, which I don't know about you, but for me, it's kind of exciting. Like, I love the summer. There's a lot of, changes and switch ups with routines and different things to do. But for me, just in my own, I don't know, motherhood trauma, I guess, getting them back into school and into a normal routine has always been somewhat of a relief for me. And in my experience, especially a relief to the wallet. And I'm getting some feedback where it's the exact opposite for some of you. Some of you are getting your kids back into school, and now you've got other extracurricular activities. You've got other things to pay for, school pictures, yearbooks, all the new just events, school events and all the things. So, and this is, talking to moms. If you're not a mom of a child in school, then this doesn't necessarily apply right now, but maybe it did for you in the past. But my financial trauma, a lot of that was surrounded around, things like this, not being prepared for seasons, right? So, and we'll get into the Christmas stuff later, but this is really about the summer. For me, the summertime was always the most expensive time of my life and in my motherhood career. And this is just my experience. And also, what this could do is, if this is going to be, if the next step in your seasons, right, the next stage in your season is that school time is more expensive for you, then this is also a good time to be watching this type of content, because I'm basically teaching you how to just, tighten up, right? Sometimes we got to just tighten up and, better prepare ourselves and create those margins in our month to profit better from the money that's coming in to our lives, right? So, and yeah, all the abundance, right? So welcome in, say hello. Tell me what your name is. Some of you, I can't see the comments yet, or I can't see what your name is because you haven't given StreamYard permission, which is fine. Just say your name so that I do know who, is making a comment. If you're going to make a comment and you have any questions, say your name first so that I can address you if you do get a chance. If you're here on the live, thank you for being here in real time. Real-time content is a lot more fun if you can make it in real time, because it gives an opportunity for you to be interactive and engage and actually get your answers to any of your questions that you may have in real time. So somebody says, yeah, I need to tighten up for sure. I know the feeling. For sure. So I'm going to do my best to keep this into 30 minutes, like I said, because I have a carpool today. But today I'm sharing 5 tips to remedy that summer spending hangover, right? And like I said, this is applicable to anyone that experiences what I've experienced, which is the summertime. It becomes a little chaotic. Schedules are off. People are going on more vacations. We've got more things to do, more fun stuff, pool parties, all the things. And we just kind of lose track and, get off track sometimes. So what I want to start with today is just I'm going to talk about the 5 tips to remedy this, to maybe pop a little pill in there and get yourself a chill pill that, and so that you can move on into the new season, right? Into the fall season. So I'm going to start with something a little different that I don't really do. I do this on my own, but I want to share this with you because this is a technique that's been working for me lately, especially when I feel a certain amount of shame, anxiety, root shame beliefs, internal narratives that start to pop up that make me feel like I'm, not worthy of, having things, right? And so let's do some breath work. And I'm going to make this really quick. I'm not going to like just bore you with a meditation here. But one thing that we all do for our entire lives that we practice unknowingly mostly is breathe, right? And when we feel anxiety or overwhelmed, what happens to our breath is pretty amazing. Our breath starts to shorten and become more shallow. Anytime we feel stress, our breathing is affected. And when our breathing is affected, it's affecting and I'm not a scientist, so just, or a doctor or anything like that. But anytime our breathing is affected or it becomes, like you're palpitating, you're breathing fast or having shallow breathing, it is affecting your organs. It's affecting your health. It's affecting your heart and the blood that flows through your body in your brain. Okay. And so breath work is really critical. So let's do, I do the 4-6-2. I'm sorry, the 6-2-6 and sometimes the 4-6-2. Anyways, this is just counting the seconds when you breathe. So we're just really going to quick do this 3 times. So breathe in for 6 seconds, hold it for 2, and then breathe out for 6 seconds. Ready? First one. I'm going to do this too. Breathe in for 6. As much as you can. Hold it. Out for 6. Breathe in again for 6. As much air as you can take in. Out for 6. All right. I feel better already. Okay. I hope you do too. All right. And the next thing that we're going to do, if you're feeling any kind of feelings of regret or, from things that happened over the summer, it doesn't even have to be relatable to money. But if you're feeling like, things are just out of whack and you've got to get back, back to neutral, right? Let's accept what's done is done and what's over is over. And we're going to go from today moving forward. And so we're going to work on acceptance today. I want to talk about how your mind is a garden. I was listening to a podcast earlier, and it's reminded me of the importance of pruning and weeding and taking care of your garden. Now, you don't have to be a green thumb. I'm not a green thumb. I am actually a black thumb. My husband is the green thumb, and he's the one that takes care of the yard and all the things. But when we're talking about our brain, so let's apply this whole analogy to the brain. Your brain is a garden. It's an important tool, right? It's the thing that causes you to do all the things, whether it's moving your body or talking or communicating, it's everything, right? This is the motherboard, right? So if you are not taking care of what's going in, watering it, pruning it, pulling the weeds, getting all the crap out, it's going to die. It's going to just stop doing what it needs to do for you, and it's going to let you down because you haven't been taking care of it. So you want to thrive, right? So one way to accept what's been done, right, is to just say, I can't change it, right? If you feel out of control right now, if you feel like you're not in control of your life, or you've kind of gotten out of control and you're trying to get that control back, just say these 3 words: can't change it, right? Can't change it. It's, and if there's someone that's in your life that is also, you're not able to do anything about, they're doing things that you don't approve of or having an effect on your attitude, can't change it. Okay. So breathe and accept. All right. That's tip 1. All right. So tip 2 is to assess the mess. We're surrounded by stuff. We're like in this world right now where we have access to just things. And sometimes when we have a lot of things in the way and in our space, it gets really messy and confusing and chaotic. And that's why a lot of people like do this whole minimalist thing, and they do van life and, just downsize their lives, because a lot of times stuff can cause us to be really overwhelmed with, clutter. So clutter causes chaos. So this is just a tip, right? To do something today, ask yourself, what can I clean up in the next 15 minutes, right? Just take 15 minutes to clean something up that will propel you forward. So what can I clean up today in the next 15 minutes that will propel me forward, right? An example would be your wallet. Okay. Like, I just cleaned out my wallet the other day and I felt like a brand new woman. And I just probably moved maybe 10 things out of my wallet, but I can't begin to tell you how freeing it was that I just got rid of some receipts and moved a couple cards around, and it made a world of difference. It made my wallet feel more sleek and thin and comfortable to hold. I was getting aggravated, too much change in there, things like that, right? So think about your closet. What can you do in the next 15 minutes to go through maybe 10 articles of clothing to decide whether, you need it or you don't, or you want to sell it, right? So I call it the 3 R's, not 2, 3. 3 R's. So review, repurpose, and remove. So again, this is on tip 2, and we are assessing the mess. And these are the 3 R's: review, repurpose, and remove. Okay. So, and this is when we're talking about physical things, also mental things too, but we're talking about the physical world right now. So take whatever it is, the thing, the stuff that we're talking about, whatever that category is for you that you feel like you need to cleanse, and do a review. Evaluate and assess. Smell it, taste it, whatever it is. Decide if this is something that, write it down. Whatever it is, does it bring you joy? Does it serve you? Does it have a purpose? Right? The next thing would be is repurpose. So decide if you're going to keep, rekindle your love for this item, reuse, or repurpose, meaning sell, right? Like, so we decide if you're going to keep it, rekindle, maybe match it to something else. If we're talking about clothing here, you could be going through a drawer with, like just odds and ends, your junk drawer. Go through a junk drawer. Take 15 minutes to go through a junk drawer. That will change your life. Just throwing that out there. So again, are you going to repurpose it? How are you going to repurpose? Meaning keep, rekindle the love for it. And also, the other day I had a pair of pants and I liked the way that they fit on my butt. And I decided to cut the pants and I made them into shorts. So that's another way to repurpose clothing, right? So just giving you some ideas there. Or sell it, right? Secondhand. And if it's, none of those things, then remove it, donate it, or toss it if it's no good to donate, right? So review, repurpose, remove. Okay. So the other thing to assess the mess is, well, that's actually it. That's all I had for my notes. Okay, cool. I'm going to move on to the third thing. All right. So the third tip to remedy the summer spending hangover, right? Feeling hungover, feeling a little bit lethargic, right? After all the things and things are back in routine, your kids are in school or you're back in school, whatever the case, do a fast financial audit. Nothing big, nothing major. This is what I teach to my clients when we first start working together, and or some members that I do freebie work for. Take a month. Take the last 30 days or the month prior to this month, wherever you're at, and do a financial audit. Quick review. The first thing to do is to write everything down. Everything, whether it was spent from your regular budget or from your credit cards or cash, if you can recall. Usually we can't really recall the cash that we spend, but write it all down. Then once you've done that and you've got everything in list view and you've kind of categorized what each of them fall under, you want to also say, was this a want or a need? And then from that point, you want to decide what stays and what goes. Well, obviously, this is stuff that you've already spent money on, so it's staying, right? Meaning the thing that you have to show for it or not. Could be restaurants, right? But what stays and goes is part of your next plan. So this goes into my next step, which is to list your real priorities. So the fourth tip, okay, next step is to list your real priorities based on this audit that you just did. Okay, you've looked over the last 30 days. You know what you spent your money on. You know what served, what didn't, and it doesn't really matter. Again, we're going back to tip 1, which is to accept, right? And let it go and move on, right? Move forward. And what in that audit that you just did was time well spent or invested? Okay. So there's a difference. Time is way, way, way more valuable than money. And there's different ways to spend our time. There's spending time and there's investing your time. So you could have been investing your time with your family that's going to, rebuilding a relationship or building a relationship on top of a relationship, layering your relationship. That was invested time if that's the way you see it, right? Did you spend your time maybe in ways that didn't serve you? Did you, I don't know, go to dinner with some people that you really didn't get any value out of or something? Or you're just like, that time that I spent with, at that party with so-and-so, I can't get those days back, the 2 days afterwards that I was hungover, right? Or felt like crap or was tired because I didn't get enough rest, that kind of thing, So evaluate in the process of this priorities checklist, what is a quality thing that you want to keep, and what you want to make is part of your next plan, what you want to do more of, and what you want to cancel. And that there could be subscriptions in there that you want to cancel, things like that, bills. But let's talk about some of the things that you did when it comes to entertainment as well. Think through your entertainment decisions, things like that. What should be canceled? So again, people, places, and things. Think along those lines of people, places, and things, and how did they serve you? Are you going to continue going with that, or are you going to cancel some things and keep it moving, right? Create more space for better environments, right? Some thoughts. So that is tip 4. List your real priorities, okay, based on your audit from tip 3. And tip 5 is take messy action in an organized fashion. Okay, so what this means is you will never have it all together. So you know how they say stop procrastinating, just take messy action? I totally am a believer in this, and I find it really hard to do, especially when I'm trying to perfect things as an entrepreneur, and I'm trying to come out with my message and deliver this message well, so that you can receive it well and you can get a lot of value and you can take it into your life and change your life. That's the ultimate goal, right? And in a good way, add value to your life and up level, right? So I have to take messy action all the time. But the other thing too is be very careful about the actions that you take when you're not prepared at all, right? And I'm this has happened to me where I was like, I'm just going to go with it. I'm going to take messy action. And then I did something before I was really ready. So again, that's why these, tips, the 1, 2, 3, and 4 are really important. Make sure that you do those thoroughly before you get to 5, which is taking that action. Now that you've done a little bit of the detox and the cleansing prep work, take the action. And what I mean by that is going forward from now to going forward, start tracking your spending. Start tracking your actions, the things that you're doing, the time that you're spending and investing, right? determine whether some of the time that you're taking to do things or energy that you're putting out is well spent or not well spent, or if it's well invested, right? So I hope that this was helpful today. I feel like this went really quick. Anybody have any questions? I've got a few comments here, but I don't see any cues. So if you are here, once again, 5 tips to remedy the summer spending hangover. I know you've been there. You've got to have been there at least one time in your life, right? Whether you have kids or you don't, like summertime can get cray cray. And I know that it has definitely been like that for me in the past. And yeah, it really is tough. I remember, you know, when I would be coming off summertime and the kids would be back in school, I'd be like, oh my God, like, why am I so broke? Like, I am just so broke. It's like I knew that it was because I did a lot of spending during the summer, but I still couldn't understand. I couldn't quite get it. Why I was feeling so tight on the wallet for a month or two after the summertime was over. And it was just because I was doing a lot of like not paying attention, chillaxing. I'll worry about that later, and I wasn't doing those audits and those, the work, the daily work of tracking and doing all the things. So I hope this was helpful today. And I'm going to cut this baby short. And if you're here on the replay, #replay. And if you have any questions, send them to me. But I have a couple calls to action, actually. So take my free course. I mention that every time. That's all my framework bottled up in a nice little bow. That is in the guides section in the group where we're at. And also, if you're here on YouTube, you can find me at Financial Fix Her Community, my Facebook group, and you'll find that free course there. And I can always leave the link here, or you can send me a DM if you have questions about it or need help signing in. Also save the date. Oh yeah. I have a Budget Boss Boot Camp coming up. It's a challenge, a 5-day challenge on August 29th, which I'm super excited about. I'll have the sign up link available very soon, no later than next Monday, no later than this coming Monday. So working on that. It's almost done. And I hope to see you there. Lots of good stuff that's going to be happening with that. More details to come. All right. Have a good one. See you soon.